Welcome everybody again to this evening of Women's Day. I'm very, very happy to get this opportunity to be one of the day, what do you call celebrating this women with you, Women's Day with you. And I would be very pleasure and happy to hear from one of them of what you are going to tell us about this day, reading or singing or whatever you have produced or prepared for us. My name is Seynab Haji. I'm working at a studio organization called Studio Premieret here in Uppsala. So welcome again. I'm going to start because the time is running now to somebody who is having a little bit of hurry. Rimma Markova, she's a poet from Sweden. You're very welcome. Sweden and Russia.
Thank you.
Just introduce yourself, Rimma, and then you can.
Yes. Jag ska läsa på ryska och svenska, bara några dikter eftersom I have very little time, I have to go. В этом городе холмистом, где Нагорный пантеон, в этом городе слоистом, словно торт Наполеон, слой удачи, слой разрухи, слой свободы, слой войны, ходят черные старухи, древней мудрости полны, ходят матери поэтов, их застенчивых подруг, похоронным черным цветом, охраняя жизнь вокруг. Увершительников Мария Родикова. Denna stad av berg består, ett panteon långborta. Denna stad på lager står, likt en Napoleon-tårta. Ett lager tor, ett lager sår, ett lager krig, ett lager ro. Svarta gummor hergår med åldersvisshet och tro. Dessa mödrar till poeter som är svart begravda är en gång blyga som heter. Nu kan de skydda livet här. Och en till. Det är från boken Mamma. Косу еще заплетает сама. Язык уже заплетается сам. Говорит, я очень-очень больна. Одноклассников помнит по именам. Спрашивает, а в чьей мы квартире? На каком этаже? Нашу еще вчера разбомбили. Никого не осталось уже. В телевизор. Это наша война или уже другая? Я знаю, что были еще другие. Спать иди, моя дорогая. Посмотри, ведь это же Киев. Еще зима, а они полили, как тогда в июне. Я очень уже больна. Киев бомбили, нам объявили, что началась война. Увершительников Nina Tjortlund. Jag är sjuk, det svider som eld, men håret flätar hon själv. Och minns namnet i femman, sen fastnar tunga i gommen. Igår då bombade de oss, vårt hus, ja, allt är borta. Och nu, vem är vi hos? Var det? På vilken gata? Är det vårt krig som tv visar? Ett annat? Ja, jag vet. Hon kissar. Men titta, det är ju Kiev. Men mamma, gå och lägg dig. Jag är sjuk, mycket sjuk. Är det vinter? Vem skjuter som i juni då högtalaren röt? Kiev är bombat, kriget har börjat. Tack. Jag önskar lycka till alla och trevligt dag. Jag måste jobba tyvärr.
Tack så mycket. Tack så mycket. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. I have to close so that. Thank you very much. Now I want to see who is next, and I will read the name here. I want to welcome Lena Köster.
Tack.
I hope the name is right now.
Namnet är alldeles rätt.
Thank you very much.
Ja, tack.
Yeah.
Jag, om det syns i bild vet jag inte. Gör det? Ja.
Mattias,
Jag vill tillägna min läsning dels min mamma, som var ensamstående mamma. Hon var ekonom och sjuksköterska och jag tyckte att hon kunde allt. Det kunde hon. Och alla kvinnor, särskilt nu i Ukraina. Men alla.
Skulle du ta det på engelska också?
Ja, på svenska och engelska.
Du kan ta på engelska.
Shall I say this in English too?
Yeah.
Well, I dedicate my reading to my mother. She was without a husband. She has adopted me, and she could do anything. She was a nurse, she was an economist, and she was just a woman. So I dedicate my reading to her and to all women, of course, but especially in Ukraine these days, of course. The first poem in Swedish is about the free word. Women around the earth doesn't always have the right to speak at all. I wish they had. We will have that sooner or later. Det fria ordet har vingar som bär över världen. Det fria ordet kan inte dödas med hugg eller knivhugg eller skott. Men det kan strypas, kvävas, stängas in i mörka hålor. Det fria ordet är starkt och skört. Det måste försvaras varje dag. Det måste skyddas mot de rädda, de som jagar med vapen och förtryck. De som skräms av öppna dörrar och av en blandad frihetsnjutande värld. Det fria ordet öppnar portarna till mänskligt liv i orädd gemenskap. Det fria ordet är grunden vi står på i vårt demokratiska samhälle. Det fria ordet är vårt. Det borde vara allas. Och det fria ordets pennor får därför aldrig ge upp. And then one poem in English. It's actually a song, but I'm not going to sing it. Being a poet, being an artist, being a woman on earth, being a daughter, a partner, a mother, a human for what it is worth. Reflecting upon all those things that surround us, on God and on universe, and thinking whatever one's fantasy does, reality always is worse. And the war is still going on between evil and good as before. It changes its looks and it varies its voice, but even in silence you can hear its noise. And you know there will be a final fight, and for some there'll be life, but for others just life. Being a poet among all those people, what good can your poems do? You will never know, but you have to go on, writing songs and some poems before you may rest. Because singing and writing and being a poet is just what you do the best. Och om mina 3 minuter inte har gått så har jag en slut. Och det är det match. I think that I'll read a final poem about being here in March, and spring is coming, whatever happens around us, as every year, and I am surprised as every year. Man borde inte förundras, inte alls häpna. Våren är på väg. Talgoxen sjunger sitt revir. Videungen vaknar och barnen spelar kula. Lyssnar man noga kan man höra de solgula hästhåren. Livet pågår oförtrutet, sida vid sida med döden. Också i dig och mig. Filmen rullar bara framåt. Gränsen skymtar allt tydligare i framtidsdisen. En havsörn glider genom bilden. Näbben klorna redo. Eller är det ängel med uppdrag att bära ännu en själ bort? Tack för mig.
Thank you
Och
very,
min
very much.
kärlek till alla medkvinnor i världen.
Oh, lovely. Very nice way. Thank you very much. Nice picture.
Thank you.
Well, we are continuing with our day this evening, and I'm very happy again to welcome, if we have with us, which I'm not sure, Bhawana Pokhrel from Nepal. Is Bhawana?
Namaste, everybody. I'm here.
Welcome very much.
Thank you so much. And it's very nice to be with you all. It's all about connection. And since I've lived in Denmark for my PhD, it feels very warm to see everybody. And I would like to thank Anishur Rahman ji for his support for connection. And yes, this is International Women's Day, and I'm more than happy to connect with all of you, very warm souls. And as the slogan goes, gender equality today for a sustainable development tomorrow. And when we say development, I think we have to come together. And when we say development, it refers to various kinds of freedoms. By profession, I am a lecturer. I teach at a college, and I teach literature of conflict, war, and trauma. And I am really very sad for the war, and we wish the war ended. A very big no to the war. And I'm going to recite two of my short poems. And I'm going to recite two of my short poems. Going to recite two of my short poems. Yeah, I guess it's echoing. Two of my short poems. Yeah, I guess it's echoing. Oops. So let me try. The poem is dedicated to all the women or all of the women all over the world. And the title is Relentless. It's in English. If the sound is okay, please permit me to go ahead. Somebody please give me a clue. Okay, thank you. Here I go. If you are a mediocre, the world seems sweet to you. It is happy crushing you with all the compromises. But if you dare, they connive to constrain you as a stereotypical Gandhari, for they fear you, they ostracize you, they name you asocial, proud and podgy, they hide information, they set you barsh, or they find fault in your path, in your pace, and grace, and blame you brutally. They try to muffle your voice by erasing your words on their filthy walls, full of false praises. Then you, girl, slam their door, let the cowards crows caw, stray dogs bark behind you, close your eyes for courage, think of Sally's Frankenstein, recall Sword's St. John, embrace them, and move ahead relentlessly. Thank you. So if we have time, I'd like to read one more, and if not, I like to request somebody else to do.
No, let's continue with another one.
Thank you so much.
1 minute.
And next poem is entitled A Home of One's One. The title is A Home of One's One, and here I go. I have been a wave at your house, in your world. Oh, absolute male minds. I'm fed up with you, full of apathy. I'm silent. I want to be home at your houses in the entire world. If you embrace wolves, androgyny, full of empathy among you, me, and them, all of us. I want to be homed in you, around you, among you, accepted, counted, respected, not as a franchised female, but as one of you. For my head, free, equal, privileged, dignified. A room of one's one is not enough. Of late, I have been dreaming of a whole home entirely of my one, entirely of my one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I thank Literature Centrum once again for having me in the program. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope you have a very nice weather in Nepal. In Sweden.
Yes, it's very sunny and the mountains are brilliant. So I wish everybody came to Nepal and stay with me. The city I stay is a city full of natural beauty and a lot of lakes as well as poets.
Yeah, and in Sweden now we have started to see a clue of spring. So we hope we're gonna have a very nice weather.
Yeah, it is here.
Thank you very much for your.
See you in April.
My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. And it's night here, so the lights bit dim and all. Mhm.
Well, we have to continue to the next guest, and I'm going to welcome Maj Ringström from Sweden. She's a poet and a singer. You are very welcome.
Well, thank you very much for having me here. I'm just going to sing a song, but I just finished it, so it's I haven't translated it yet. But it's about wintertime in Sweden and about in the world a lot of refugees seeking a home, a new home with peace. Yes. And it's okay, but it's probably from the back. it's not translated yet, but I hope you could understand some words anyhow and the music. Thank you.
I think people everywhere have just enjoyed the singing, even though it is in Swedish, but I think the feelings is just on the sky.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. We continue with our day, of course. And now I'm going to welcome Saroj. So you have to help me with the name here. Chumber. Saroj. Okay. We're going to continue with Gerd Vading, poet from Sweden. Do we have Gerd here?
You're the most among
Okay.
Gerd Vading.
Vading. Is Gerd there? No. Okay. We continue with Mel Perry, a poet from Wales, United Kingdom. Welcome. Welcome, Mel.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me this afternoon to celebrate this event, streamed from Uppsala to the world. I'm from Wales, and it was a delight to welcome Anasir to Wales back in the autumn. I'm very grateful to him for inviting me this afternoon, and hope that I will be able to return to Sweden a little later this year. I'm going to read some poems from my collection, my bilingual collection, Sound the Hollow, which has been published by Magnus Gren Forlag in Tranås. Sadly, I'm only reading them in English. I thought I'd choose the first one because I've got a note on my book that says my daughter's name, and I hadn't written it for my daughter, but actually thinking about it, thinking where it was written in a very remote Welsh island where my daughter used to work. I think I'll read it for her because it celebrates the kind of the quiet strength that women have, and it comes from the plant sorrel, so it's called sorrel. A scarlet blush hovers across the land this year. It lines meadow margins and thickens grass in hayfields that sweep to the west. A single lance-shaped glabrous leaf is a spearing bite for a summer salad. An inflorescence of pink-tinged green female flowers spiral. And like a jeweled Indian dancer, tapping fingers in her palm, it rises in triumphal summer flush. Thank you. I couldn't let today pass without acknowledging the horrors that are unfolding in Ukraine and all through Europe. And this next poem is called Europa, and it's an ekphrastic poem drawn from the statue of Europa by Carl Milesh. And of course, there's one in the town hall in Tranås, as there are others across Sweden. Europa. Their statue rises before me. Town hall gallery light torrents across the tiles, spirals, seeps into bronze. The bull that had stamped, pawed the ground, ground the sand where blue pooled, is knuckled now. His horn, which had once fondled kelp filaments in sea shallows, rests alert, waiting her call. He has been lifted up on top the bull, poised, no longer in submission. For her points of touch, fingers, knee, ankles, hold him as she reaches strength and spirit north and west from a Mediterranean shore. Her right hand on his arching tongue where caress conquers grip. Her feet in the sculptor-smoothed furrows of his flank. where embrace triumphs tenure. The scalloped wave where once she had played billows now from her shoulder, from hurricanes to zephyrs, breaths. Her lands of forests, lakes, islands, mountains, coasts from Baltic to Atlantic are ready. 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 For beauty will save the world, and it will start with loving someone. Thank you. And my third poem, and depends whether there's time later. This is it's another poem that was inspired by my first visit to Tranos in 2015, where we were teaching in Holleveds Gymnasiet in the town. And we were teaching a group of refugees and asylum seekers, newcomers to the town. And there were 20 languages in the room, and we were speaking in English, and it was being translated into Swedish by the teacher for the young people were learning Swedish. And the girls were busy on their phones and head down and kind of not engaging. And then there was one young man who caught my attention. And this is for him and for all people who seek sanctuary, but also remember home as well. Prince Caspian, the boy in the Tranos classroom, who wrote without falter or query, who moved the strokes of his Persian voice in silence across the page, who scribed a story of loss and love, Afghanistan, his home. Like Caspian, may he rise us up from that page, rise us up with alongside him with the wisps, flicks and kisses of his language meeting ours in this autumn air. May his fingers entwine ours, grasp our hands, hold our hearts along the braided rivers of his land, across all oceans, as together we encircle the hammering grief of Ankara, Baghdad, Beirut, Paris, and now Kyiv. Thank you very much.
I see that you can speak a little bit of Swedish.
Very basic phrases, I'm afraid. I'll get on and relearn for my visit later in the year.
Oh, we are happy to hear those small words coming out from you. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your participation.
Mel, we are looking forward to welcome here in person.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Anasir.
Yeah, we are going to talk about someday.
Great.
Thank you for participation.
Yeah. We are very now happy to continue with this day. And as I said before, I'm very, 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 very happy to be a moderator from Anisur, who asked me. Actually, I said, this is a Women's Day. I have to accept it. Even though I was not at job, I was having my off times in this week. But I said, no, I have to be here to see one of these movements. Thank you very much. I'm just on my way to welcome a lady just in front of me called Mabel Patrick. And she's having an association. And she's the one who started this association called Nigeria. No, it's not. Now I have the old one. You can read now because I don't have it in the paper, so that we say the correct word of the organization.
1 second.
Or you leave her to say that. Touch the Children and the Women International. Yeah. Thank you very much. You are very welcome to say something.
Thank you so much.
Mattias, you can help.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the Trans Central for this opportunity and privilege to me to be here and to make this brief presentation about myself. My name is Mabel Patrick. I'm from Nigeria, and I am the coordinator of the organization Touch the Children and Women International. I'm based here in Sweden, and I'm a final year student at the University of Yale on the program of international social work. So my dream and vision is about women and children. And I'm so privileged that today we are celebrating Women's Day. So, and the theme for this year, Women's Day, just that I have a presentation, but I could not come up with my PowerPoint due to the live stream, but nevertheless, I'm going to just say a brief word. So, the theme for this year, Women's Day, is break the bias. As women, we have called to break the bias. We all strive for equality. We all strive, to be equal based on our salary scale with the men, to discover our potential, have our confidence. But there's something missing about us women. We seem to discriminate one another. And if we can use today's opportunity to break the bias among us women, break the bias in our community, break the bias in schools, break the bias in the university.
Jag skulle inte skriva kursen. Det är inte här.
If we can break the bias in wherever we find ourselves, to make this world a better place. Because when we are able to break the bias, there will be no segregation, there will be no discrimination. It wouldn't be a black race, racial profile wouldn't be counted. But as women, we are being brought together to be a voice to the next woman. And until we start being a voice to the next woman, there is nothing like women's rights, because when we seem to use our position to oppress those under us, there is no women rights. When we do not allow others to grow, there is no women rights. When we don't show others the way to follow, and we know the way to follow, there is no women rights until we come to realize that we are anchored to the next person, to our neighbor, to the people that cannot speak for themselves, to those that cannot voice out anything for themselves. Then we are breaking the bias. So it's a call for us women generally to break the bias in our places of work, in our area, in our environment, in our university, at our place of work, so we can make others feel included, because a lot of people, a lot of women, generally, they feel excluded from the society. Why? A lot of them get depression from their place of work. They get stressed up. They were like, no, my boss cannot just tolerate me. She just can't stand me. But we are called women. Until we learn to uphold one another and show love to one another, we are not called to discriminate. We are called to empathize. We are not called to judge. We should stop being judgmental. Women, we should celebrate your fellow women. It does not matter the position, it does not matter the class, it does not matter the status, it does not matter the skin color. We all are women. We should be voice to one another. So I can say today we can break the bias by crossing our hands. And I start by saying it, break the bias. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mabel, for those wonderful words and very strong words. Thank you. Lovely. Yeah. We are very happy to have everybody of you, and of course we are doing this and we are continuing to do this. Yeah. Well, I think I don't have anybody in my list, but of course we still have a little bit of time. I welcome anybody who wants to say something for 1 minute. So ladies, just say something if you have any words to talk.
Okay, can I say something?
Very welcome.
This I haven't prepared before. I'm just talking right now. But I think if we look at the leaders of the world, most of the men, some of them probably could have a diagnosis of sort. They seem to be totally out of their wits. Not naming anyone right now, but there are more than one, I'd say. I wish that women could be on those positions, have those positions. I don't know if women actually want those positions, because who would like to be president of the United States or Russia or whatever? I wouldn't. But I wish women had more to say to these men. Women give birth to the future. Every time we give birth to a little child, it's the future. The child is the future. Of course, men are involved, absolutely, but there is something special. I'm not this biological person who says that it's very important biological sex or anything, but there is a fact that we can bear a child within and we can give birth to a child and we have to nurse this child, take care of it and love it. And that we could apply on other people, grown-ups, adults in the world. We have the possibility to do that, to feel that from within, from the deepest inside of us. So I wish that women of the world could expand their love and their ability to take care, to love, to respect, to listen to look at, as we do to our children. Hopefully we do that to our children. I wouldn't say anything negative about men. I have only good men in my life, so I'm not saying anything generally negative or at all. I just say something especially positive about women. We are strong. We can stand pain to a certain limit, and we have such amounts of love that I think it's the only thing that could save the world. This sounds very romantic. I'm not a romantic person. But I really believe in women. I believe in the power that is within women. And I think it's necessary to get men to understand that they should cooperate with women. Not be there alone, and women shouldn't be there alone, but to cooperate, to take little lessons sometimes. Oh, this is just blah, 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 because I haven't thought about it before. But I just want to say to the women of the world that every woman in this world is worth respect and should raise her voice. I mean, she shouldn't risk to be shot or anything, but please raise your voice if you can. Show that love you give to a child or a friend or your mother or whatever, your husband. That's the important thing. You have the strength. You have the power. You have this kind of power. Absolutely. But this kind of power, this kind of power, and this kind of power. I think women are the future.
I just get some wonderful feelings about this. Thank you very much, and Lena. Strong words, very nice words. I think everybody of us are just touched of this.
So
Nice.
may I take some minutes, please?
You're very, very welcome. Bhawana. Welcome.
It's like, yes, I have traveled to many different places, and I know what's it being a woman there, or in very many places of the world, and especially that Nordic sort of bravery and courage and freedom that really lures me. And yes, we say we are power and we do have a lot of strength, but at times we go low, and that's also a truth. And when we go low, maybe this kind of camaraderie or this kind of coming together is so very much emboldening. And I am celebrating it right at this moment. And I take it as a kind of privilege. So I wish programs like this happened frequently, not only once a day in a year. So we could revive courage from each other, share storage, and rise and shine together.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do events, over 100 events over the year. So you all are welcome with suggestions, ideas, and curiosity. We also do online, we do also in place. See, you all are welcome in advance. See you soon again.
Thank you very much, Anishurji, for having me for the connection. Otherwise, I would not have been here on the platform. I thank you very much.
And we thank you very much for your participation.
And thanks to everybody as well.
people around the world to connect together and have this movement together. And this is the way to make a network going on.
Yes,
And
same here, same and more here.
so thank you very much. Yeah, we
My
continue.
pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you. We continue again. If anybody else in this group wants to say something before we maybe close today.
You don't want to read something, Seynab?
I just want to finish.
Okay.
I want to be the one who is going to round up the words.
And if not, I'm gonna recite a poem, if you allow, if you are not bored.
Very welcome.
Okay. Okay, it's world peace, and I don't know, women, we as women are capable of making peace, and it's haunting me. Like I cannot be at conflict, and I know the souls, very many souls like us, cannot be in conflict and bear the burnt. So this is, and we do have a purpose. It's not like we are talking blah 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 as such, but we do have a purpose, and each of our moment, they do have a purpose. And yes, this poem also has a purpose, that is to establish a pray for peace. And I like to pray for all the sufferers of war today, especially Ukraine and Russia, especially Ukraine. Yes, and here it goes. A Sufi Shapona. The title is A Sufi Shapona. Here I go again. A child dies for holding a toy gun. I think of Syria, Gaza, and Israel, India, Nepal, London, Afghanistan. Weapons like colorful pupils. They are perspectives, but the eye, an eye for an eye, has set the whole world sigh, calls for sanity and Sufism, for in our dreary world today, cowards and sinners rise. Instead, the innocent and the child dies. The innocent or the child dies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Jag kan säga bara någonting kort.
Yeah.
So I wrote this poem when the war was going on in Afghanistan in 2019. I was attending the SAC Literature Festival in New Delhi, and the war broke out. And I happened to be writing this poem because I was very much touched by the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From Nepal, now I want to welcome again Maryan. Maj, welcome. Ringström. Yeah,
Well, I
of course,
haven't prepared this, and I'm reading from today's newspaper here in Uppsala, and it's from the head of Swedish peace organization, Agnes Hellström, and she starts with this. Today is International Women's Day. Over 1.5 million people from Ukraine are now refugees. Most of them are women and children who now seek protection and safety in, for instance, Sweden. Families are torn apart because men have to stay at the war and to defend the country. And she says like this, that in a patriarchy, everyone is losing. You can't have
You can't win.
You can't win, yes. And I think that's so, that's very good, it's interesting. And the men aren't winning at all, they're losing. And I'm just today thinking about Russia. How are Russian women celebrating this day? Because I think normally they would celebrate this day very much. But how is it today? And this is a literary organization, and so you concentrate on words, and for you, words mean a lot. And I thinking about that. Putin has forbidden people to use the word war. And when and which words are more to be abandoned? I think maybe you can't use the word peace, things like that, peace and love, because there are words that are dangerous. And my feelings and my thoughts today are with the women in Russia. And I hope very much for them that they can make their voices heard and not be put in jail. And also in this literary society, words are important. And I would quote Swedish author, male author, is dead since long ago. His name was Victor Rydberg, and he said, I have no weapon, but the pen is my weapon. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Continue. Yeah. Until 4 o'clock, we have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to sing something. I think that in times of war and other kinds of catastrophes, as you say, the word is very important. The poetry is very important, not the poetry that the power says yes to, the poetry that is kind of, what's the word? Suppressed, oppressed, what's the word? Suppressed, yes. But it's underground and it's very important. And the songs are very important also. And all the things you have in mind, the fear, the rage, the love, everything, you can use that in the poetry or in the paintings and in the songs. And it has always been like that. I have written a kind of hymn, but it's without God. Everybody's free to believe whatever. This is not about God, it's about ourselves. We want to pray, perhaps, because it's natural. But if we look at each other, we may get some answers, actually. So I'll sing this one in Swedish. Okay. And it's the melody of an old hymn, but I'm writing it without any religious thing. Jag lyfter ögat mot himmelen, betraktar mörker och stjärnor. Vi människor bär också himmelsljus i våra vindlande hjärnor. Vi frågar varför, men inga ord med svar och tröst får vi höra. Men världens skönhet och kärleken kan våra hjärtan beröra. Och kanske svaren finns där vi är, mitt i vår vardag, vår strävan. Vi lyfter blicken emot varann i stor förundran och bävan. It's about that we have the questions and the answers may be just here where we are. If we look at each other, if we listen to each other, we might find the solution of things we otherwise say, please God, could you fix this? Or please Buddha, could you fix this? Or please Putin, could you fix this? I don't know, whatever. But it's us, it's all about, not those other things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Intressant. Fantastiskt. Fina ord som vanligt. Yeah.
Can I say something?
I want to ask somebody there first and then I come back to you guys. Yeah. Very welcome, Mel Perry. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. As I was listening to people talking about, you know, what we need to do as individual women and how we need to reach out and work with women, I thought of the work that I've been doing recently with women who are survivors of domestic abuse. And it's a huge public health issue in our country, in the United Kingdom and in Wales. And I did some poetry writing workshops with a group of women survivors. And one of the things that I got them to do was to write about the ordinary implements in their kitchen. So the whisk, the potato masher, the weighing scales, the measuring spoons, all those things. And oh, that was a very moving and very powerful session, as they were, and they're thinking about what those implements metaphorically meant to them. And we created a web, a collaborative poem, where they chose the lines to read out from their poem. So this isn't just one woman's poem, this is every woman's poem. And it's called Out of the Kitchen. And it's just something that we can do with ordinary women to, you know, not as you were saying, any kind of high level, highfalutin ideas, just the ideas and the thoughts of ordinary, extraordinary women who have incredible strength through their survival and recovery. This is Out of the Kitchen. Your loopy thingamies always give my Ujima flippity's body and strength. You are my go-to plan. I am so happy that I have more than one use. I feel proud you're mine. And I like that we all fit into each other. My song of contentment. I enjoy sharing your love of Honeywell and how we have created fun together. It's my favorite form of therapy. One day, taken out and just sidelined for no reason, for a reason you would never believe. Time after time, I'm not the type of gadget that would commit to putting in the effort to look glamorous. I am just as I intended to be, strong and unbreakable. Oh, to be appreciated, feeling alive when you're with me. I have a life which has been measured out for me in small quantities. Heap me up, level me off. But I am more precious, bigger and fat, the fatter I get, because you love me so. I'm loved every minute you take me out. In the end, I was out of the cupboard and restored to my rightful place. The sparkly new digital scales back in its box, out of the way. I had a light and happy heart. Those voices from the women of Carmarthen. Thank you.
You see that we just became very happy when you told us it's about a woman out of the kitchen. So lovely. Thank you very much. We continue back here again because we are just running out of time now. And Mabel, well,
yeah, what I just have to say is that I will encourage women across the globe to arise and conquer their fear, to arise and conquer low self-esteem, to arise and conquer anything whatsoever that has relegated them. Encouraging women across the globe to arise and take their place and realize, fulfill their vision. They've got vision, they've got purpose to fulfill. But you shouldn't allow fear to cripple you. You shouldn't allow fear to stop you. You can do much more than you believe you can do. You can attain and achieve much more than you think you can ever do. But one thing is needed. You have to arise and conquer your fear. And this today being Women's Day, it will be good for every woman as we celebrate Women's Day today to make our voice heard and say no to war. With this network, we can put our voice together and say, ceasefire, no to war. Let peace be still. Thank you
very much. Oh, thank you very much, everybody who have been joining us this evening. And I just want to say something, because now this Women's Day is very special. It is not just like others. Just like last year when we had a pandemic, and 2020 when the pandemic was just all over the world. So the Women's Day was just it was just like not normal anymore. But this year is even special because in Europe we have a war, and everybody here, I can hear that people just talk about something to connect with something which is going on. And but I just want to give you a word to everybody of you. For example, if I start here, if you have a chance to talk to a wife of Putin today, what could you say to her? Just spontaneous.
Would you like to stop him? What would he do to you? Or do you agree with?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Welcome. What could you say to her?
To him. Well, do you love him?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that she's asking. Or I'd say to her, well, divorce him.
And what about Mabel? For example, you take a phone and you talk to her and say, okay, hello, I'm Mabel.
If I'm opportunity to talk to the wife of Putin, I would say, please talk some sense into it.
Get out from that house and just
talk some sense
disappear.
into him and cause him to cease fire or get out of that place.
What about Nepal? What are you going to talk to Mr. Putin's wife if you get that opportunity?
Well, that's a $10,000 question. What I would say, well, probably I would tell her to stop talking to him.
Yeah, just
because silence sometimes is stronger than words.
Exactly.
And who do not understand silence, they may not understand the words. So women speak in symbols as well, and which is more powerful than any words or any verbal expression. So just stop talking to him on behalf of the world, on behalf of everybody who's suffering.
Thank you very much. What about Mel?
Thank you.
Are you going to say something to this woman, Putin's wife? I don't know her name actually, but I wish I could speak to her.
It is the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at those women and children
Who are running away.
See those women and children. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Well, I don't have anything more to add. I am just very happy to be here with you. And I want to thank you, Anisul. And of course, I want to thank you very much, our technician here, Mattias Tengstrand.
Yes,
very much for your effort from the beginning and that kind of patience you had for us. Huh? The coffee, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I say thank you very much there at home and from Wales and Nepal. And thank you very much from the public who are here from Sweden, Swedish audience. Yeah.
Thank you, Seynab.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.